And we have Roy C. Booth, playwright, genre jumper of many different short stories and other novels around the literatures.
But what I did is I went to a lot of conventions for science fiction, comic book conventions, and I would just go in the corner and just sit there and listen and watch. Luckily, there was something known as Krashenko's down in the Twin Cities for Minicon and whatnot. Basically, Krashenko's is where all the writers went, so I got to meet where we live in person, and all these other people, Dory R. Dixon, whatever. And then eventually they realized, hey, this kid's been here this entire time, let's include him in the conversation. And then you start building, relationships, and you start networking that way. And next thing you know, you find who's who for an editor and whatnot, how to submit and whatnot. And and some older writers would take you under the arms, on their wing, and mentor you a bit and whatnot. And other than that, I would just wrote a lot of letters. I'd write letters to my favorite authors and my favorite comic book people and whatnot, and get feedback from that and run with it. As a writer, you have to determine one thing: what works for you and what works with your audience in mind. Because I'm a real big fan that if you're going to do anything like this, you have to know your audience. You got to know exactly who you are writing this for. You got to know exactly who you're submitting this to. And if you do not do your homework on that, if you do not do your research or whatnot, you're not going to succeed. So then, and when it comes to pitching things, usually I will get a film idea and I will probably pitch it to a studio or another script or another screenwriter or whatever. And I try to figure out ahead of time budget. I try to figure out what's going to cost to put on this thing. Because usually, whatever you do in film, eventually everything goes down not to the creative force, but to the bean counters. You've got to convince the bean counters they're going to make some money on this, or the producers, or the backers, or whatnot. And oddly enough, the same thing happens in theater to a certain extent. You've got to prove that you can put butts in the seat, so to speak. I'm working on an animation series through a firm out of Korea, which I can't talk too much about. I've got about 8 novels right now, either solo or in collaboration. They're already between 35,000 to 110,000 words completed. I got another 2 full-length stage plays I'm working on. I've got a few screenplays. I've got a lot of things. Most of it, like I said, is either things I've been working on for the past 2 years or so. But I always have the door open for new projects. I mean, with script doctoring, I have to drop everything I'm doing to usually fulfill that client's need, because what they need was like 2 weeks ago. Production's already going, and every day is another $50,000, $100,000 or whatever delay in production, whatnot. What am I going to do? And then, I do things like industrial film scripts, which is like, type of thing. But it pays, and also, it's part of the networking and everything else. You get these jobs sometimes which are death on toast, but it keeps the process going. Oh, I cheat. I take my bills and I put them right on the side of the monitor, and I go, okay, I better do something here, or this does not get paid. And I think the main thing is, especially right for creative fiction or sort of thing, you've got to think of this as a business. You are writing for an industry. You are writing not only for an audience in a particular genre or medium, you're also writing for an editor who will buy that. Okay, that's where the networking comes in so important. You've got to know who you are selling this to, not just the publisher, But the actual person who's going to, give you the contract, sign the checks and whatnot. The only trouble I've had with editors is the same thing Terrence had. You get someone with a God complex who thinks that, if you don't play ball my way, you're not going to go anywhere with it. It's just a question, you just stand for yourself. I like some of these contracts until before about the film right grabs thing. I've been able to sit down and renegotiate things like that with an editor, through the publisher, whatnot, get things changed. It's just a question of, stand for yourself.
Names like Superman to less common titles like Aquaman. Booth has more than 90,000 comics in his store, which is only 1/5 of his entire collection.